That's right, folks. Another episode of the Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast. It's week 8. It's the Sunday Live Start Sit Show. Join us for 2 hours as we answer your start sit questions, talk about the key injuries, weather updates, everything you need up until kickoff. All that and more starting right now on the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel. And it looks like we have a try box. Because God forbid we have a quad box these days. I mean, kids, you know what I mean? Unreal. Unfortunately, you're stuck with the trio of myself, Matthew Styles, and Derek Favret. Follow those guys, by the way. Matthew Styles 08 on Twitter. Derek _ Favret. Derek, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Can't we believe we're at week 8 already? 2 months into the season. It's going by fast.
I know. It's like raising kids. You know what I mean? Like the young ones, they grow up so fast, like our fantasy seasons, of course. Matthew Styles, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Bob, how many kids do you have?
A dog, okay? And that this day and age, that means to me, he's such a sweet angel.
And that's 7 years for every one. So
right?
It's even faster.
Yeah. Time is absolutely cruising for my pup.
I'm gonna assume you're a small dog guy.
Is 16 pounds small?
Small to medium.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
Yeah. Pretty small. Yeah. He's a little guy. He actually lost 2 pounds, so he's feeling and looking good right now. We're adding years. He's reverse engineering that age, baby.
He's in the best shape of his life, right?
Best shape of his. He's ready to go. It's like his off season. He's ready to start the season hot. Hasn't been healthy in a long time. Love it. I'm buying him.
Not even on the injury report.
No, not at all.
Clear.
Speaking of injury reports, we're excited to have breaking that down at 9 o'clock. We'll be breaking down all the key injuries today. A lot of interesting nuggets like T. Higgins, most likely out today. We'll be talking about that. What does that mean for Cincinnati? And, of course, we'll be breaking down some of the key weather updates. Hopefully, Derek, you figured out if there's any bad weather going on in the world. If not, this would be the time to do it. Other than that, man, let's get into some start-sit questions. And, by the way, if you're watching us on Twitter, YouTube, anywhere across the board, jump over to the YouTube channel. A lot of fun. Use the chat function there. And, of course, if you're watching on Facebook, you can always add comments as well. But always make sure you subscribe to the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel. Jump over to IG and TikTok. And we also have the great content over on Razzball.com. Take it away, Matthew.
Yeah, as a reminder, if you don't see your question populate, let us know by just saying, hey, my stuff's not there. I wouldn't try to populate it too many times, but sometimes we found that they're getting truncated or they're just not showing up. Hopefully that was a last week problem and it won't happen again this week. And the other thing I will just kind of remind folks, Derek and I and Jeff saw this on Tuesday. By the way, Sky has now missed 2 straight episodes, Bob. Not to be the guy that calls anybody out, but if we could just mark that down on the old Christmas bonus list. And I think, Bob, you're muted again. So
possible. I didn't even touch anything. This is a hot mess. My keyboard's not working today. I am just all over the place, folks. So I apologize in advance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's every week. There's something with you every week, right?
No, it's a fact, by the way. And I just took the hugest dump, by the way. So you know what? I had to rush a dump and my keyboard's not working. Like, it's a tough morning for me, all right?
Yeah, so let's put him back on mute.
No, none of that. You guys are going to listen to my problems first thing, all right?
Yeah, so Derek, I'm just going to talk to you for a minute as if it's just the two of us. Normally, we start Sunday off, and the first person to say something off color, off target, out of line is me. Right? I'm willing to own that. Yeah. And Bob has trumped me this morning by talking about his latest movement. So let's maybe just shake it off, right? Like an old aerobics class. Let's just shake all of that off.
Well, we're all in different roles now, so you gotta play the role that you're in. You're in the host role, so
yeah. I guess I have to be on my best behavior, which is at best maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10. So. Bob, interestingly enough, you were almost late to the chat today. Now I guess we found out what you were doing, what was delaying your arrival. But I guess while you were sitting on the pot, you had one of your burners official Savage was posting before we were live. So to our old friend, our Lions fan, remember last year he actually, what now, 3 seasons maybe, he's been pumping up his Lions, and outside of the Aiden Hutchison injury and the JMO suspension, right? Sounds like he was dipping into Grandpa's cough medicine a little too heavily, and he's going to miss 2 games. So from official Savage to kick off our Sunday, good morning to you. Tank Dell, Ramondre Stevenson.
Before we move on, I got a question. I'm a younger generation person now. Did cough syrup back in the day have a little extra kick, and is that why it's the joke? Or is that just like Grandpa used to do drinking a lot? And like, is there like a cough syrup origin that used to be a little stronger? Kind of like Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it. Like, is that actually a thing?
No. So
just curious.
Grandpa would tell you that he was drinking cough medicine.
Got it. Okay.
So he was never drinking alcohol or God knows what, he was just, it's just Grandpa's cough medicine. That's the way I remember it.
Got it. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I learned so much from you guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you both very much.
but there is a drink called Scissorp in the rap community, which I believe is cough syrup with Robitussin and something else. And
nice.
We'd have to rely on Sky, but I believe they say they are sipping on Scissorp. Okay. So go ahead and write that one down. All right, back to Savage. Tank Dell, Ramondre, or Wandale, PPR. This is his flex position. Derek, what do we think? And by the way, I'm going to go on a limb here. It feels like this may be the Tank Dell question of the day. Yesterday last week had JSN. We all missed it. We bombed. We will say that we all said start JSN, and it was late a turd. So akin to Bob this morning. So let's move on to this might be the Tank Dell week.
So you're asking me to talk about football now?
Yeah, Derek, welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm here all for the football and the analysis. All right, so for me, I'm staying away from Stevenson here. He hasn't shown. I know he's off the injury report. He's healthy. They're playing the Jets. Not an awful matchup, but not a great one. But saving any further analysis, I'm just staying away from Stevenson at all, especially, and it's a PPR too. So I tend to lean for the best wide receiver matchup. And both of these are okay for me, but I am going to lean Tank Dell in this one. Obviously with Collins out and Houston hosting the Colts, there should be some room, especially in the middle of the field. But give me Tank Dell, and I'll take the extra targets that'll probably go his way. So I'll add some PPR points that way, and whatever he gives me with air dot, and maybe even gets in the end zone. But Tank Dell for me.
All right, what do you think there, Shitbreak?
I think I've been looking at this all week, and Tank Dell has been kind of the guy I'm excited about the most this week. Houston's back at home. If you look at our home road split tool, CJ Stroud is a homebody. The guy plays a lot better at home, and then he's got this really nice matchup against the Colts. So last season in the one game he faced, I think he had 7 receptions and found the end zone. So I think I'm going to go with Tank Dell this week. But actually, I like Ramondre Stevenson against the Jets, but give me Dell.
I'm going to lean Dell as well. A couple of factors. CJ Stroud will probably never be as bad as he was in week 7 again. What did he have? 86 yards. I mean, it's just brutal. Just a weird game. And Green Bay had to win it at the end, and somehow Stroud just was unavailable to provide points in that game. I normally like Wan'Dale Robinson in PPR formats, but against Pittsburgh, I'm going to pass at Pittsburgh. And I believe that's Monday night, so you probably have to make this decision earlier. Disappointed in Stevenson after what we saw last year, right? A lot of garbage points last year, a lot of receptions, kind of a Alvin Kamara light. So I'm going to pass on him as well, and I will go Tank Dell. So first question, out of the gate, all 3 of us agree. So let's keep that moving ahead. What do you think, Bob? We could keep with the tries?
The tries? What is the try thing? Do we have a try?
Right here.
Oh, we all do this?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love it. We don't have music though. Sorry. It's, listen, I don't know what to do right now. Like Sky, it just kind of, I was talking to Derek about this Wednesday. I don't think we haven't had an OG quad box the whole season. We're 8 weeks in and we are an offer for the OG quad box. Honestly, disappointing. Not going to lie, team. Not going to lie.
Again, like I said, like I do, right? I keep receipts in my book. You should have a Christmas bonus book, but, for some reason, I think you keep it all upstairs, and that's not good. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Derek, do you see on our questions here, did you see Travis Smith pop up after Savage?
I did. And then look at the timestamp on his, for like last night. So not sure how that popped in, but.
And that's a Twitter question or an X question. Okay.
I love it.
Travis, if you're tuned in this morning, great. If not, this will be for those folks that are looking or listening in right now. So Travis is asking Rico Dowdle or Cedric Tillman. We'll go to Derek first, and then Bob. I think you actually mentioned Cedric Tillman in a recent X post, if I remember that correctly. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be Tillman. We don't have a lot of data on him, but he certainly appears to be the benefactor of Cooper's trade to Buffalo, and probably more importantly, Jameis is quarterback now. So I like the fact he had 12 targets last week, 81 yards receiving. And then as far as Dowdle goes, there's some news that Cook is actually is active, and they're planning to give him some run. Normally, I don't really put a lot of trust in that, but they are coming off their bye week, and so there's plenty of time for him to game plan for Cook, which will cut into Dowdle's production a little bit. So, those factors in mind, I'm willing to roll the dice on Tillman. We're not really sure what this Browns offense is going to be moving forward, but if there's any type of hopes in mild expectations for the Browns offense, it's all around Tillman and Chubb as well, but with Tillman in the passing game. So I'll take Tillman here. Bobby?
Let's see. Something for Dallas. Man, I like Dallas run game against San Francisco, but I am going to go with Tillman. I don't know how I feel about that. In our adjusted line yards matchup metric, Dallas is the fifth, is number 5. I do think you could run it. I think you can run against San Francisco, but this is a narrative. But the Cowboys on the road in San Francisco has been ugly, and honestly, I don't know if I care to trust that. The Ravens are going to be down 2 of their 3 top cornerbacks today. And Jameis is in the game. And you know how Jameis is. He's not going to be pretty, but he'll throw a bunch. That offense, by the way, I think Deshaun Watson was holding them back. So I think this is going to be interesting with Winston finally getting the call up. So give me Tillman with 2 Ravens banged up in the secondary.
All right, let's make that all 3 of us. Derek mentioned the Dalvin Cook news. I don't know if it's news yet or if it's still kind of percolating as a rumor right now. But if they pull him on, right, they signed him 3 weeks ago, give or take. He's been practice squad. He hasn't been. They bring him to the active roster. That means they don't have a special teamer. They don't have an extra lineman. They don't have a linebacker, whatever it may be. They're doing that for a reason, and I think that's probably to the detriment of Rico Dowdle's access to the football. So not knowing if it's going to be a 50-50 split, 40-60, whatever it will be, give me Tillman starting, partly because Jameis. We all love Jameis on the show. We are not shy about that. And I have seen Jerry Jeudy do since week 1 or 2. He's basically just getting his cardio in. He's not doing football things. He's just kind of running around. So I think that's all 3 of us for Tillman. If this was full PPR, I think we would have been much quicker to say Tillman. Again, Derek mentioned it, 12 targets. You've got to love 12 targets. And ladies and gentlemen, after 3 of us have selected Cedric Tillman, here is Bob's guy, our guy, Scott Emmons, coming in. Super chat, gotta love it. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna say anything that would make Scott feel like he has to do more than one super chat, but we've been building up with his super chats to the last one has the hashtag. So I'm interested to see what the hashtags look like today. Wink. Right? Get it, Bob? You don't know? All right, Bob. So around maybe 12 Eastern, we'll bring you back into the show when you're kind of focused, when you're in, maybe the
cup of
sweat,
coffee, maybe.
Right? Got a coffee in you? Something?
Yeah.
Anything?
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
maybe we just get a liquid IV and toss that back real quick. See if we can't move forward. All right, Scott, back to you. We love you. A PPR league at Washington. McLaurin. At wide receiver. Excuse me. Where did I come up with? See, Bob's got me all discombobulated. Get it, Derek?
Get it.
Okay, thank you. At wide receiver, McLaurin, Olave, Sterling, Shepard, or Tillman. And is Daniels playing today? Bob, let's hit you for the Daniels info.
Yeah, he's in. Sounds like he's going to play. Yeah.
You think he's going to play?
That's the last report that I just saw, that he's going to probably play today.
And for those just tuning in, we're going to get to that in about 40 minutes, the all-inclusive injury report. So, all right, Derek, you like Scary Terry around Halloween. You like Olave Garden for dinner. You like Shepard replacing Evans and Godwin, or do you like the aforementioned Cedric Tillman?
Yeah, so I too believe from the reports I've seen that Daniels is going to play. Some bruised ribs or some cartilage damage, whatever. But he should be maybe limited more for his running. But if he stays in the pocket a little bit more and throws the ball, then I'm okay with that. So I'm actually of these four pretty comfortably with Terry McLaurin in this one. Even if Marcus Mariota is playing, I mean, he's got enough, in his arsenal and his experience that we can expect him to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. We saw a little bit of that last week in relief. So, yeah, I'm with McLaurin here, and I don't really trust any of the other three. I like Tillman fine. I like Olave fine coming back, but I'm really not sure what the Tampa Bay wide receiver situation is going to be. But yeah, it's pretty comfortably McLaurin here for me.
Yeah, the Bears are tough on the outside. They are going to be down. I mean, I could see Jalen Johnson shadowing McLaurin today, which kind of worries me a little bit. They are going to be down two of their guys in the secondary, but one's a slot guy, Kyler Gordon. The other one's Jaquisti Brisker in the safety position. So I don't know if I'm ready to just go all in on Tillman. I like Tillman as if hey, I need to break the glass. I need a guy that can give me some juice. I like Tillman, but McLaurin's been so good. If Jaden Daniels is in, I don't think I could fade him. Olave's on the road with Spencer Rattler against a really tough Chargers secondary as well. And then Shepard, I don't even know what the role is going to be. So I'm going to go slightly McLaurin over Tillman.
Bob, you're a big fan of the boots on the ground, right? Derek is the closest we have to DC. As you know, I'm the closest to Tampa. This is what I'm hearing out of practice, out of the local news, out of kind of all the chatter. Clearly, with Evans and Godwin out, the Atlanta defense, which, by the way, put up 500-plus yards last time they faced Tampa, that defense is going to constrict. They're going to move closer to the line because there is not a deep threat in Evans, and there's not a crazy wide receiver like Godwin to run after the catch. So they're going to compress that defense forward. Right now, I think that hurts Cade Otton because he's going to probably see targets, but he's not going to have run after the catch. They're just going to be too close to him. Whoever plays in the slot, Shepard or McMillan, is probably going to lead the wide receiver or the pass catchers in targets and receptions. With that, I don't know because they haven't made it clear who's going to play in the slot. McMillan belongs in the slot, but Shepard is also, this is a Giants fan. Shepard was a really, really good.
So good.
NFL receiver, and injuries have really derailed his career. He also has a personal connection from Oklahoma with Baker. Baker's going to feel comfortable with him as he does Otton. I think all of that, I'm saying all of that because we should get more Atlanta and Tampa questions with the injuries later. This is going to be a Rachaad White PPR game. This is going to be a KDOT and PPR, but not yardage game. They are going to throw all day, but Baker's going to be in trouble because he cannot stretch the field. Most likely, at least that's what statistics and analysis say. So short passes, short receptions. Bucky Irving may fall into the end zone. It could also turn out to be Sean Tucker when the game is out of reach. But I like Bucky Irving. I like Rachaad White today over the others. Now, all that being said, I'm going with McLaurin as well. I don't like Olave with Rattler. Tillman, we've already said, sure, start him in a different format. But I don't want to go all in either on Tillman. So all of that to say this, I like McLaurin. I like the fact that what Derek's hearing from being closest to DC. I like Bob's report as well. And clearly, in my book, the best fully healthy with a healthy quarterback on this list is McLaurin. Normally it would be Olave, but for me, and I think the other guys today, for you, Scott, it's going to be McLaurin. So short story long, McLaurin from us, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right, let's move on.
And before we get to our next question, just hit back to the Twitter question from Travis. So he did hear our response and thanks us for our
awesome.
thoughts.
Good to have you in, Travis. Keep posting questions, and we'll get to them as quick as we can. And another one of our loyal followers and listeners, Epic Fail, is in. Derek. What do we think? Full PPR, Dobbs versus Dell. Here we go with the Dell again, and half PPR. JSN, who made us all look silly last week, versus Jalen Waddle. And Derek, why don't you go ahead and state why Bob should consider Jalen Waddle today?
Well, he is his number one fan, by the way, so fantasy fan. But that aside, and I'll answer that one first. There is some weather. Bob alluded to weather. The weather in the Buffalo-Seattle game is probably the only one that I see that may affect it. There's going to be on and off showers more early than late, some sustained winds with gusts up to 25, 30. So, Geno in that passing game is probably going to be affected. So just that alone would probably want to lean off of JSN, not even to get into the fact that he has been really underutilized in this offense. Than certainly what we expected back when we were drafting the teams 2 months ago. But and then of course Tua back for Miami, really just puts Waddle and Hill back in everyone's radar, and it should be an easy call with Waddle on this one, regardless of all the other noise as well. So for many factors, I'm Waddle over JSN. On the first one, a little trickier because I do like Dobbs today. With Green Bay going to Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville is one of the most friendly defenses for wide receivers out there, and especially for the routes that Dobbs tends to run. And then we already talked about Dell as well. Houston hosting Indianapolis, and we're talking targets. PPR, where both should be targeted. But I really think, and this is just my personal gut, I think Dell is probably more likely to be targeted than Dobbs. And so then we're talking opportunity with PPR. Both have pretty good matchups for what we're looking for. I'm going to go Dell slightly over Dobbs in this one. And it's really, again, more just the potential workload in targets translating into fantasy points.
So, Bob, we know clearly the second question you're going to answer Waddle. So just if you would focus on the first one.
This is tough because so one of the things that happened last week was the Jaguars got back their top cornerback. And granted, they were in London playing against the Patriots, but it shifted the defense a little bit. And the Jags defense wasn't a shit show anymore. They had their elite corner, and that's Tyson Campbell. And so but the good news for him, for Dobbs, is that he only plays on one side of the field. And so Dobbs moves around. And I'm not going to use the Patriots as a benchmark for being conservative, but I just have a feeling about Dell today. I do. I think he's going to be good at home. The Colts are a great matchup. So I think both of these guys are my two favorite kids this week. So I like Dell. I actually might have a player parlay with both these guys for fantasy points today because I love both of their lines. On the other question, I I understand. So JSN, they have to almost delete without DK Metcalf today. It kind of changes the whole dynamic of JSN because DK was the dominant number one. You take him off the field, Tyler Lockett, I love Lockett, but JSN should command more targets, and Buffalo is a slot funnel defense. But with Tua coming back, Miami, man, who's Miami got today? I gotta just pull this up real quick.
Hosting the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's right. Arizona. I mean, that's a good matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna go Waddle too. I'll go Dell and Waddle. It's fine. JSN is just the bench. It's been very bad, like very bad. Like he was the biggest bust for me this year. I think he's someone I have in almost all my leagues, and he's been terrible.
Which ironically was Waddle last year, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So he's my new Waddle. He really is.
So next year, you should start your draft next year with Waddle, JSN, Tyler Boyd.
No, I'm not going to do any of those things. So thank you for the option. Thank you for the idea, but I won't do that. And I'm gonna disagree slightly.
It's not really disagree, but I have a feeling with what I've seen for Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs with Jaden Reed a little bit dinged up last week. I think Jaden Reed is the one that's going to deal with the Jacksonville number one cornerback, which leaves Doubs and Tucker Kraft available for more targets. Dell is probably the correct answer. However, you're asking me, I'm going to play Doubs and Waddle, but I don't think you make a mistake with Dell in the least. But me, I'm playing Doubs. But again, self-admitted Packers homer, so I like Doubs slightly over Dell today. Bob, Derek, and we can take a little bit of a water break here. Epic Fails asking for your kicker report.
Woo!
What are we thinking as far as kicking the ball?
We hit on Jason Myers last week. That was a fun one. We had a really good time there. Let's see. So the number one kicker in my metric is the San Francisco situation. I understand that Moody's out and my Matthew Wright got hurt, but their third string kicker, so a lot of people aren't picking him up. San Francisco has the most opportunities available this week. And then I really like Will Lutz, the Denver Broncos kicker, going up against the Carolina Panthers at home today. So if you need a streamer kicker, it's Will Lutz. But I actually do like the San Francisco kicker. And of course, if you have Washington kicker, that's our guy this year. He's been awesome. So it goes to San Francisco's number one. Andres Carlson, I believe, is the San Francisco kicker, former Packers guy, awful at accuracy, but he will have the opportunities today if you want to roll the dice there. Then the Washington kicker, and then of course Will Lutz is our streamer kicker of the week against Carolina.
All right, and interesting enough, a couple of weeks ago, coming into Dallas's bye in one of Derek and my league, someone dropped Aubrey and they forgot they did that. So Derek and I scooped up Brandon Aubrey for free, and he's been let go from his jury duty.
So nice.
He did fly with the team.
I was going to say the judge must be a Cowboys fan. He's like, he
actually is he's a huge football fan, played in college. So yeah, that was not going to drag Brandon Aubrey away from.
That is awesome.
I think the judge is he went to, I don't know if it was University of Texas, but he was a college football starter or player for sure. All right, William Jones, good morning back to you. Can I trust Dak this week? Or should I start May or Nix? Well, this is interesting.
Are you supposed to do the Billiam Jones thing? Who?
Sky's not here.
Yeah, Sky's been gone so long. He's going to have to resurrect that.
There's a lot of things Sky owes the team.
Like, are we even fun anymore? Like, what are we? Like, I feel like we're like this is the marriage is just souring fast. I mean, we don't even joke around anymore.
It's more business. There won't be any 90s R&B or rap references. There won't be any grunge music or West Coast references. It's going to be pretty boring. Well, we'll just warn people now. We're just going to get to the answers. We're going to move on. No more talking about Bob and what coffee does to him early on Sunday mornings. None of that. Normally that would be great. We'd get talking about pears, Bobby Two
Bears.
Ponds, right? You're lactose intolerant. All that stuff is not fun when Sky's not here. So
I think that's what happened. I had some fudge last night at a party, and so I got a
okay,
little
Derek,
wild. You know what I
we're gonna
mean?
go ahead and,
You get
yep.
into your late 30s, and all of a sudden you're just.
Yep, Derek. I went ahead and muted him. I muted you, Bob. I'm not. Derek, over to you.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I muted you, Bob.
Yeah, okay. So what are we talking? Dak versus May or Knicks?
Correct.
Yeah, I of the three, actually, I'm most intrigued by Knicks this week. Bobby and I talked about him a little bit on our Wednesday night show. I mean, he's not throwing the ball a ton, but he is doing it with his legs. And of course, they're hosting Carolina. Carolina, their bad defense got worse when they traded away some players this week, and they've got some injuries. So, yeah, with Dak, he's gonna be fine. I'm not as worried as some others out there, but again, he generally doesn't travel well. They're going to San Francisco, where historically he's had a really tough time coming off their bye. I don't know. We just don't have that recency bias with him to say that, we can trust him this week. And that was his question. Can I trust him? So to me, it's no. And I'm going to actually roll with Knicks. And, I'm not expecting a high volume passing game, but he is averaging about 65 yards rushing the last two games. And, if one of those finds the end zone, that'd be great too. And kind of going back to what we were talking about on Wednesday, it is a small sample size, but he is better at home, about 35% better scoring at home versus on the road too, from our home road split tools. So all those things really point to Knicks for me in this case. But again, I'm not worried about Dak. I'm not making any long-term decisions there. I'm just not going to trust him this week in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I want to look up Dak's numbers really quick because God dang it, I had it too. Because when I'm looking at, I know Dak on the road in general. If you look at our home split tool, it's obnoxious. Like, he is not the same player on the road. And then Knicks has been a lot better at home. So like, I think that is why I'm going to lean Knicks here. I don't know. The San Francisco 49ers are dealing with a lot of injuries in their offense too. And I think they're going to have to lean a little more on Mason, which could control the game a little bit. So I'm going to go Knicks.
Only because I absolutely have to have it, and I paid up for him in Superflex, or not Superflex. It is Superflex, but Guillotine League. I'm pretty much behind Dak. I like Dallas coming off the bye. I like the fact that they think they're doing something special with the running game. San Francisco's a decent D, but they're not as good as they used to be. I think Dak and CD and Ferguson have good games, and sprinkle in either some Tolbert or Turpin on the outside. So I'm going to go with Dak. I have no issue with Knicks for why exactly what the boys talked about, right? You're probably going to get 40 or 50 yards on the ground. And he's going to throw the ball a little bit against Carolina. Their defense is going to absolutely lock Carolina down, especially with Deontay Johnson out. And I actually kind of like Drake May, but I don't like Drake May with his matchup.
Whoa. Let's back up for a minute. What did you just say? They're going to lock up the Carolina offense because Deontay Johnson's out? Did you mean Andy Dalton? Like, what are we talking about here? Well, you're constantly just rewriting history. You're overlooking the Gingers again. This is why we always end up with an issue, because, like, God forbid a Ginger quarterback gets his praise, Unreal.
That's unreal. So first of all, we clearly know that Gingers can't drive, right? That's a given.
Nope.
Car accident, right? Now he's hurt his thumb. And if Sky was here, we would have talked about Gingers. It's not as fun.
It's true. This whole thing is just miserable.
Yeah, so if I insult you, it's me against you. That's not fun. If Sky and I insult you, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
For me, it's Dak. I have no problem with Knicks. I like May the way he's playing, but I'm not going to play May this week. So we've got what? Knicks, and Dak. I believe that's what I heard.
2 for Knicks, 1 for Dak.
There we go.
I got to tell you, you're much better at the summaries Matt. That's where your strong suit is. Like Sky just moves on to the next question. You do a really good job breaking down the actual who said what. I like that about you. We got to tell Sky to step that up next time.
Okay.
You know,
Thanks for that.
If we ever
follow-up
see him
compliment.
again.
It's kind
That's
of like
true.
a
We might not see
backhanded
him.
compliment. Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
It's like your
Pretty
mom
strong.
saying, "Oh no, your haircut doesn't look that bad."
It's not.
Yep.
Doesn't look
Yep.
that bad. Good thing you're
And
wearing
your
it.
by the way, yeah, there is no haircut to be discussed over here. Jeff Marks sounds like a new name, or it could be Jeff's burner. He's just not slick about not picking his first name. Good morning. Pick one full PPR. By the way, I will say this on the record. Jeff is not here today. He's blaming it on his these birthday parties with his daughter. No, he's ducking me. Who's Green Bay playing today?
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah. Pick one full PPR. Kareem Hunt, Brian Thomas Jr., interestingly enough, for the Jags, or Amari Cooper, Derek.
Well, even though he's not here, I'm going to give a shout out to Jeff for Jeff here. And I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. That game is slated to be the highest or one of the highest of the week, granted on the Green Bay side, but, late game, chasing a big lead, you're going to, those count too in fantasy. So he's the best player in the situation of these three. He's in the best position. It is a full PPR. Amari Cooper, we do like him in Buffalo, but we talked about some weather. Seattle's defense isn't in all that bad, and he's still pretty new to the team. And, I understand why some people may consider Kareem Hunt. It's just not, for me, it's just not where I'm at, especially with the PPR. I'm not a believer. He's had a couple good games. That's great. But I'm not counting on him. It is a fantastic matchup. Don't get me wrong. But, I want the best wide receiver here in the best situation. And to me, that's the young Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jags.
I'm going to go Kareem Hunt. It's just rolling right now. I'm going to take that Chiefs offense, maybe with DeAndre Hopkins sprinkled in. I mean, that's really all they got right now. So I'm going to go Hunt.
They still have Travis Kelce. They still have Xavier Worthy. But maybe not in your fantasy league. I don't know. I like Hunt, but I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. chasing the Packers today as well. And by the way, I would go. I have no problem starting any one of the three of these players. And I will say that Kareem Hunt is one of my only chances to advance to the cut line in Razzball 6. My team has been decimated by injuries. My quarterbacks haven't done what they need to, nor have my tight ends. So my entire strategy, which has worked for many years, is not working this year. So
let me just add a little bit on Hunt before we move on. So
whatever you want to do to disagree with Bob.
Yeah, well, no, it's not just that, but if you look at the last couple of weeks, he had 22 carries last week, and then 27 versus New Orleans before their bye week, and we're starting to see what that toll takes. I mean, he did miss some time this week with hip injury. He is back. He's off the injury report. But the point being, he's not one that's built at this point of his career to handle that workload. And, Kansas City, for all you want to say, they're a smart team. And, I just don't see that they're going to recognize and don't see that they're going to run this guy to the ground. I mean, he is, until Pacheco comes back, he is their running back. And now they've got a new weapon on the outside again with Hopkins. Of course, Kelce's still there too. So I don't know, to me, I just don't see that that Andy's going to just give him the rock and let him run through the Raiders defense. I just don't see it, I just wanted to add that in as why I'm kind of leaning more Brian Thomas Jr. despite the great matchup.
They're playing the Raiders. Like they're playing the Raiders. Like the Raiders' run defense is awful. They're down Christian Wilkins, their best defensive tackle. I understand Kareem Hunt isn't their guy though. It's Isaiah Pacheco. So if Kareem Hunt falls apart in 3-4 weeks when Pacheco comes back, I don't think they care too much. Like he's going to have a much reduced workload once Pacheco comes back. They're going to need him to, basically get up to speed anyway, get him game shape 100%. And then when Pacheco comes back, you'll have less of a workload. He'll have like 7-8 touches probably.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any long-term, but it's also the matchup. I mean, the Raiders.
Yeah, it is.
It's just but you're not. It's just the problem with this conversation is that Brian Thomas is a start, right? So like Brian Thomas for me, I'm not fading Brian Thomas. So if you want to go Brian Thomas, perfect, great. He's got Green Bay. I have no issues with that call because Brian Thomas is one of my favorite players this year. So, but it just seems like to me that Hunt is just this volume workhorse for the Chiefs against the Raiders.
Yeah,
so
I just worry the fact that because it is the Raiders, then you're going to see a little more of P. Ryan and Steele and even Edwards-Helaire sprinkled in there, throughout the game, rather than just having to rely on Kareem Hunt because it's more of a tough matchup and you need to control the ball. I think this is more where the second string players get a little bit more more work than they normally do. So, just my thought.
Works for me.
I already gave you my answer, and Bob does not want me to go back over and repeat what we decided for each person, so I'm not going to. Thank you.
What? No, I like it. That's what I like that you do. Don't stop doing things I like that you do. No. That's not what I meant at all. That's the opposite. I actually like it. What are you talking about?
All right, so we've got 1 for Kareem Hunt, 2 for Brian Thomas Jr.
You would stop doing something I like that you do. That's on brand.
That's a good marriage, Bob.
Yeah.
With DK off. Oh, by the way, good morning to Bill Dino. With DK off. Oh, wait, before we get to Bill, we forgot this.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We did.
No,
we all said next. You said
right
Dak.
Here. No, right
here. Oh, the emojis.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a star for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Hand slap. Hard decision, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking, can I trust the Cowboys?
Trust the Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll get more from William Jones. I have no doubt he's gonna hit us with some more. He is good to go with that. Bill, welcome back. Love the photo. Always do. Always will. With DK off, and by the way, Derek and I are fantasy bruised for that as well. We don't like to hear that DK is sitting. Need wide receiver 3 for PPR. D-Hop, Lad McConkey, Jalen McMillan. I'll hang up and listen. Little shout out homage to the old radio programs of the day.
Nice.
Derek, what do you think? I'm not a fan of his options, but I will let you start this.
I'm not either. So it's really going to be opportunity or potential opportunity of the 3, and to me, that's going to be McMillan. So we really don't know what that role is. I would agree. I think you said before, Rashad White. This is Rashad White week. Kate Otten certainly is going to be targeted, but when you get to the wide receivers, the logic says is probably McMillan, who's going to benefit the most with those targets. And this is a PPR, so I'm just going potential here and crossing my fingers because I don't really love any of these 3 options either, frankly, but for a wide receiver 3 position, but I'm taking McMillan.
Man, I like McMillan. I think the Atlanta Falcons, though, like that one game that Baker had last time, he threw for like 180 yards, but he had 3 touchdown passes. And I don't believe that the Falcons pass defense is bad. So I'm going to go Lad McConkey. At home, gets a slot funnel defense in the Saints.
Yeah, because I don't know where McMillan's going to play, and I think it's probably going to be a little bit more Sterling Shepard. I think, again, I loved Shepard when he played for the Giants, and it's sad to see that injuries have done what they've done to him. But I don't know that I trust the Tampa off. Even at home, I don't know that I trust him right now. They might have one of these really, really, really crappy weeks because they're licking their wounds at wide receiver. And obviously Todd Bowles is not an offensive mastermind. He's a defensive guy, so they may just try to win a really low scoring game and move on to week 9. But I want it to be McMillan, Derek. I really do. That's the guy I want it to be. But I'm probably leaning more towards what Bob has said with the slot funnel. I don't even know what that means, but when he says it, I kind of think that it means something good for the receiver. Unless we think
it just means they
McConkey
allow more fantasy points to the slot, and that's where McConkey plays.
But is McConkey going to have to deal with Lattimore, or is Lattimore always stay outside?
Lattimore is always outside, and Lattimore hasn't shadowed this season.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, it always seems like he does for Mike Evans, and then every other week he doesn't. So,
yeah,
I think there's something personal there.
Yeah, they get 2 fist fights a year, and then they move on. I'm going to lean McConkey, but I want it to be McMillan.
All right, you mentioned about the potential game plan, and we're not going to talk too much about betting, but I'm actually considering. I was thinking about it this morning. Actually, considering a Tampa money line bet to win, to surprisingly win this game. It's gonna be another one of those survivor catastrophes. If you're picking the Falcons in your survivor leagues, you better be nervous. I wouldn't put it past. Tampa to finding, circle the, you hear the saying, circle the wagons, next man up and all that. And, Baker's, something special here, in Tampa. He's found his home. He's got it in a nice position, and, they can find a way to win this game. They've got enough veterans there. They can find a way to win this game. And Atlanta's, lost some games that we thought they should win already. So, don't discount the Bucs here too much, in my opinion.
Well, we never count Baker out, right? We know that. And by the way, back to your kicker report, even though it's outside, I like Chase McLaughlin again today. This may be one where they're going to have to nickel and dime every point they can get, and that might mean McLaughlin's going to get a couple of opportunities at, over 50. William Jones is back.
Who?
I don't want to say it so bad. I want to say who so bad, but I'm not going to. You know what? I'm going to, because it's for him. So, wait, Bill Dino, we're going to go back to his question. No, we're not. We're going to go on to William Jones. Who? God bless America, Bob. We set it up. We told you it was coming.
I don't know. It was the sass earlier. Now I'm being sassy. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. No, sorry. Billiam. My apologies, sir.
No,
all good.
Way too late.
Right.
The fun is gone. The luster is the shine has worn off. All right, William Jones, need a wide receiver and a flex, PPR, McConkey, Pearsall, Tillman, Dalvin Cook. Well, boy, maybe this is a Tillman week that we're going to get these questions. And what do we see? Is that Halloween at the bottom? Is that like a Frankenstein?
I see a brain. Isn't that a brain there?
Brain.
Big brain. Yeah.
Maybe he's overthinking it. Or it's Halloween related.
Oh, is it a zombie eating a brain? Is that what they do?
Yeah, maybe that's okay. That could be Halloween related. Nice.
Okay.
I guess we didn't think about dressing up for Halloween.
Bob, look out. There was something behind you. There's a ghost.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the missus. She's
I got your back.
I can't do my virtual background for some reason. I don't know, something's going on. But anyway. All right.
All right, Derek, what do we think?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Tillman. Although, with so many injuries in San Francisco, I can see where Pearsall might be an option as well. But we talked about Tillman and a little bit of optimism with the Cleveland offense with Jameis in there now. Give me Tillman here. So Tillman would be my wide receiver, and my flex would be Pearsall.
I'm going to go. Sorry. Dallas, San Francisco. Pearsall played the slot last week. Yeah, I'm going to go McConkey and Tillman.
Who did you say? McConkey and Tillman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I again, Pearsall, good story, but I think I'm going to go McConkey and Tillman as well. Good stories don't score fantasy points, so write that one down. Cosmo, morning, gents. We've got a lot of good mornings. We got people in good moods. I think they're trying to get us in a better mood knowing that Sky's not out, things are a little rough around the edges. I somehow have two Chicago. Ugh. Oh, gross. Two Chicago players, much less two receivers on my roster. Start Keenan Allen or Rome. And by the way, he doesn't have the best one. DJ Moore was the only one I was willing to draft. So start Keenan Allen or Rome Odunze today, half PPR. Derek, I will turn it over to you for the Chicago discussion.
Yeah, if it's only between the two, that's we're at some dire straits. Keenan Allen's okay. He's not. I mean, he's getting 5 targets per game the last couple. He's translating them into about an 85% rate. He's not getting a lot of yards. He did get a couple touchdowns versus Jacksonville, but who doesn't score against Jacksonville, frankly? No, to me, it's going to be Odunze. He's the more potential. He's got the more potential. He's not quite getting as many targets as we have seen with Allen consistently, but he's doing a lot more with them. So if I'm picking between the two, I'm picking versus upside and potential, and for that reason, give me Odunze.
Is that also because half PPR Odunze is liable to go for a longer?
Yeah, obviously you want a little more of an ADOT there, and getting into the end zone, or just really big play potential, because you're not getting as many points just on receptions alone. So to me, Odunze it fits that role better than Allen.
I am going to go with Keenan Allen.
I'm with Bob. I'm going with Keenan Allen as well. So we have two Keenan Allens, one Odunze. Epic fail. What do y'all think about the Dalvin Cook situation? Worth holding or not? I'm going to tell you, I don't care. The Dallas backfield is irrelevant to me. I don't care. It's not.
I care a little bit. I
don't.
Yeah.
I care
depends
about
on what your
throwing.
If you have a stash spot, sure, go for it. It can't hurt, especially if you're looking for an RB3-4 and you got bye weeks coming up and you needed some. Like, by the way, it's not like Rico Dowdle and Zeke have run away with the job, but I personally think Dowdle looked good. I think the problem is Zeke looks so bad that they needed somebody else. But it's worth a stash. Honestly, I'm not any interest in starting him, but I would stash him if I had a deep bench. Sure.
Yeah, I could get behind that as well if I had a deep bench and I had, someone there that or an opening that I don't need to fill elsewhere. It's worth watching, but he's nowhere near cracking my starting lineups right now. That could change moving forward, just to see how they use him. But that would be it for me. Otherwise, I'm not really all that interested here.
All right, I told you I don't care. William Jones, we got 3 Halloween emojis. All right, so he's using he's digging deep right now because I think a lot of the ones he used last year for football were amazing. So he's going to have to get deep into the emojis to figure out if he can come up with new ones. Need a wide receiver PPR. I think that just is one player: Waddle, McMillan, Boyd, Tim Patrick. I think all 3 of our answers is going to be the same, and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, certainly Waddle here. No. And then everyone else is a distant conversation.
It is Waddle, but I will say each of these guys are interesting starts. I mean, I think these guys all make sense in deeper formats. If you're really struggling, McMillan basically could be the de facto one in that game. Boyd has got the best slot matchup on the week without Hopkins in the lineup for Tennessee, and Patrick without Jamison Williams could really see an increased role this week. So you know how the Lions are at home; they're always a good offense. So, but it is Waddle. I think the Tua situation should reset everything back to normal. You'll get your beautiful 12 points and enjoy it.
Just a hater. It's Waddle.
Dude, it's gonna be 5 for 70 today. Just letting you know.
By the way, Derek, quick quiz for the question that you see on your screen right now. If this was Bob's favorite receiver core, what receiver is missing?
I'm not tracking.
Eric. JSN.
JSN. We
Oh.
just did this.
No.
Jesus Christmas. Even I know that.
I was looking at something different. I wasn't paying. Honestly, I'll
Good.
tell you, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at
Good,
something
Derek.
else.
Don't listen to Matt's nonsense. Good. I like it.
Yeah, that's fair. Nice. Good to be a team. Good to be collective.
Well, and I'll tell you the reason I do is because I have a question of my own, and it deals with Boyd, and for the same reason you just said, he has the best slot matchup, and I want to play him, but I also have Schultz, which has a pretty good matchup against the Colts, and I need to put him in for someone, and I'm trying to decide: do I sit Ray McLeod or Tyler Boyd to put in Schultz? Or Troy Franklin, frankly. I believe
in the 500-yard game, that was the game where Mooney dropped a sure touchdown. I think Ray McLeod went 6 for 60 something on 9 targets.
He did. This is a good matchup for him, and it's Troy Franklin versus Carolina is not a bad matchup either, and same with Boyd. So while you guys are having your fun over here, I'm actually trying to win a matchup here, and I need to decide if I'm going to sit one of those 3 guys for Schultz. And so that's what I was doing when you were asking your question.
Bob, quick quiz. Any idea what the acronym NFD stands for? NFD.
No football decisions?
No fun Derek when he acts like
No fun Derek. Oh, my God. I should have known.
All right. I think I'm going to go hang with Sky. I think that's what
you can't. You don't even know where he is, Derek. We're all that you got. Okay, don't even start. Okay, we know that's a fib. That's a fib. We know it's Skies. We don't know anywhere.
Bob, I'm gonna actually hard mail you this. This will come in an envelope in your mailbox.
I love how it's called hard mail. Good old fashioned hard mail, baby.
Yeah. All right, Marius. Sorry, I got us off track again. Jaden Daniels, if he plays, or Purdy. Dallas defense has been absolutely atrocious this year. Derek, what do we think? We already believe Jaden Daniels is in. Purdy with a lack of his normal receivers, and I believe still that Debo is still listed as questionable. They have the 8:20 game today or tonight.
Yeah, even if he plays, he's not going to be even near 100%. Coming off of hospitalized pneumonia, 6 days ago. So. No, I have to stay away from Purdy, even with a slightly banged up Daniels. And if he's out there, he's good enough for me against the Bears in that matchup. I mean, he wants to play this game against Caleb Williams, the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft, going head to head with their teams. He wants to be out there, and he wants to, maybe earn Rookie of the Year this week. So. I'm going to take all those side angles of this game and just give me Daniels. If he's out there, he's playing for me.
Yeah, man, it should be Purdy. But I'm not going to sit Daniels. He can run. I just don't know what the deal is. I think he can run. He'll be fine. Bears are a tough matchup, though. It's not a great matchup for quarterbacks this season. So. But I'm not going to sit somebody that can go 30, especially I think the narrative is true what Derek said, like the 1 versus 2. He's facing Caleb. He wants to be out there. He's going to want to play hard, play well. So I go Jaden.
Yeah, Derek and I are actually sitting Purdy for the first time all season for Tua. We're going to play Tua. If it was Jaden Daniels, I don't even think we'd have to have the discussion. I think it would be Jaden Daniels for us in that league. So. That's Jaden Daniels for 3 of us, or from 3 of us. All right, moving on to Luka Magic. Love that name. Do I trade Keenan for Dell? I will tell you that there is absolutely no context to this. So let's do this in a vacuum. If you rostered Keenan Allen, would you trade for Tank Dell?
I would, yes. It's really just more potential. They're both, are they 1C? On their teams? Are they the number 3? I mean, who knows with everyone healthy, but Keenan Allen's becoming more of a possession receiver. Tank Dell still has explosion and potential for ceilings. Give me Dell. Yes, I would trade Keenan for Dell.
Chicago has the best rest of season slot schedule. Give me Keenan Allen.
Interesting.
Oh, well, Bob, with information I didn't have previously. So let me go with that. It sounds reasonable. So I still think that the wide receiver to roster in Chicago is clearly DJ Moore. And I think as the season moves forward, it could be Rome Odunze as the number 2. But based on analytics alone, I like the Keenan move. But I'm going to go Tank Dell.
By the way, Luca Magic, you can find these rest of season slot and out wide schedules on Razzball.com. You go to that fantasy data tab on nffootball.razzball.com, and we have rest of season schedules. You can check that out. Great trade tool. So very interesting stuff. So that is definitely notable there.
All right. There you go. Shameless plug for the free tool. William Jones. All right. What are the emojis? Looks like a scary face, like I was scared of something. The devil, and what's the last one? Derek, you can, the little green blob down there.
It looks like a head of lettuce to me.
I don't. Usually, aren't they supposed to be tied to the players? Right? That's what I thought. Right?
It used to, but I mean, it is Halloween season. He used a lot of those in. Last year, but I would think that he's got quite a few new players, but I don't know. Maybe it's dynasty only for our guy William Jones. All right, tight end options. Rank them, please. And by the way, for those of you listening, those of you sending in your questions, continue to listen. Continue to send in questions. After we answer this tight end option question for Mr. Jones, we are going to allow Bob to blast through the active and inactive report. He will hit both the offensive skill players and focus on defense. That might help you make a decision for your offensive players. So, tight end options. Jonnu for the Dolphins with Tua back. Will Dissly, who had his best career fantasy day for the Chargers last week. Noah Fant, who I actually enjoy in Seattle. And somebody named Kroll. Derek, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm just simply going to my tight end rankings. I have Fant ranked of these 4 the highest, followed actually closely behind with Jonnu Smith. But I'm going to shy away from the Miami tight end here because I think there's, with Tua back, frankly, and those wide receivers, especially Hills, starving for the ball. I have to think that all the playmakers in Miami, Smith would be 5th or 6th in line for that. So I'm going to stay away from him. I'm going to go Fant, even with the weather concerns up there. Some short passes to the tight ends versus Buffalo defense. I think that makes a little more sense. And he is the highest ranked of these in my tight end rankings. So give me Noah Fant.
Kroll apparently plays for the Denver Broncos.
He's one of my sweet boys. Honestly, I love Lucas Kroll. He's like one of my deeper dynasty guys that I have on a lot of my rosters. He, not yet though. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, I understand the matchup's good. I do love the fact that you said his name, which is great because I do like him as a stash. To be honest with you, if Hayden Hurst is out today, by the way, they both play at the 4:00 window. So I'd watch the injury report. If Hayden Hurst gets ruled out, I'm playing Dissly. If Hayden Hurst is back in, I'm going to pivot to Fant. But I like both. Those are 2 good options.
Yeah, so the last, when I was writing my starts of the week, right, I go a little bit, try to go deeper, try not to be the chalky plays. Hurst was trending down, and he is still questionable. Like you said, he's in the late window. I believe Seattle's in the late window as well, so you can make that decision before those games kick off. I'm with Bob as well. No Hurst, and Quentin Johnston was trending down as well, which means Ladd McConkey is a little bit more of a smart play. I'm with Dissly. If Hurst is out, I'm on Dissly even more if Hurst and Johnston are out, and Fant is my 1B. I think that he is improving, and what Fant brings you right now is a floor. If you need the floor, Fant is a wonderful 9 to 12 point floor. So I think we agree, Bob, on Dissly and Fant. Derek, because you've earned this, I wasn't paying attention to your answer, so you can recap yours.
Thanks.
How's that feel?
Thanks.
How's
I
that
don't
feel?
listen. I don't listen to you, and you don't listen to me. That's
And
why
the
we
best
get
part
along.
too is, folks, you don't have to listen to either of them because I'm kicking them both off the screen. We're doing the quick injury updates. By the way, it's the 9 o'clock hour. It's 9:06. We're a little late and a little behind. We're going to get through these really quick, but we have some key injuries you need to know up until week 8 kickoff. All right, let's jump over to the early window. We got the Packers at the Jaguars. Of course, Travis Etienne is out today. That means that Tank Bigsby is a rock solid RB2. Some notable actives for the Jaguars defense. Tyson Campbell, we discussed earlier today, one of the better outside cornerbacks, is back. He was back last week. He played very well. That could be something to watch. The Jaguars have allowed the most fantasy points out wide. We still like Romeo Doubs this week. They also got their best linebacker back. So Jags defense is getting healthy, something to monitor throughout the rest of the season. Cardinals at Dolphins. There are some key guys up front. All three of those guys, Lopez, Dennis, Bilal. I only say their first names because we're close friends. 3 of the starters up front are out for the Cardinals today. That is huge news for guys like Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. I think Achane's a must-start player this week, and I think Mostert could find himself as an RB2. Do not be surprised if Mostert has a huge week with Tua back and all these injuries up front. Sean Murphy-Bunting is also out, one of the key outside cornerbacks. All this matters because Tua is back this week. So got to love the Miami Dolphins offense to bounce back at home against the Cardinals. Also some key injuries on the other side for the Dolphins. They're going to be down their slot cornerback. Not sure how much that really helps like guys like Greg Dortch, but Miami is a slot funnel defense. They do have some really good outside cornerbacks like Jalen Ramsey and Fuller. So that could be something for Greg Dortch being a sleeper PPR play this week. Jumping down to the Jets at Patriots. Alan Lazard is out today. That is a huge trusted target for Aaron Rodgers, but I think that funnels more targets over to Adams and Wilson in this matchup. Wilson had a pretty strong day. Not a strong day, but did find the end zone last time against the Patriots, so I don't mind that as well. The Jets are going to be down some key guys on the back end. Some safeties are going to be out this week. I do like Hunter Henry this week. I know the Jets are really tough against the tight end, but Hunter Henry plays better at home. I believe the rookie Drake May will play better at home. And I think Hunter Henry is an interesting tight end flyer. Put him in your DFS lineups. Also, they'll be down Jalen Polk on that side. So no Polk, which should throw more targets over to Hunter Henry this week with the safeties out. Also should be helpful in the deep passing game with those guys being out in the back end. Jumping over to the Ravens at Browns, Zay Flowers officially in. That's good news. On the other side, though, Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins are out. That's 2 of the 3 top cornerbacks for the Ravens. That's big time news for Jameis Winston, who is on the streamer radar. Tillman and Jerry Jeudy are both intriguing, wide receiver 3s in this matchup, especially with the Ravens expected to put up some serious points against the Browns. Of course, Deshaun Watson out for the rest of the season. Jerome Ford also out today as well. Some couple injuries on the offensive line. Wyatt Teller should be back this week. They're Pro Bowl guard, but they lost Jedrick Wills. And that it is what it is. But hopefully Jameis infuses some life into that Browns passing attack. Eagles, Bengals. Of course, Jordan Mailata is on IR now, but they're also going to be down their guard, Mekhi Becton. So the Eagles are going to be down 2 key offensive linemen in this matchup. That could be a ding against a kind of up and down Bengals defense, but does have some talent on that front. Dallas Goedert, of course, being out today. That's notable. And T. Higgins officially out today. Andres Ilosovis is someone interesting, especially because the Eagles are a slot funnel defense. They allow a lot of fantasy points to the slot. If you need a wide receiver 3, I like Ilyasovas with Higgins officially ruled out. By the way, also notable too is Mike Gesicki played a lot, gets a lot more looks when Higgins is out. So maybe Gesicki could be a dart throw if you need it. Jumping out of the Colts at Texans. The Texans back end did get some help with Lassiter, their outside cornerback, coming back this week. I honestly don't know if I can really trust Pittman and Alex Pierce. Now up the middle, they are banged up. Jimmy Ward out, the safety, and also 2 of their linebackers are both out today. I think really, if you're looking at the Colts offense, you're going to want Anthony Richardson with his legs and Jonathan Taylor in this matchup. Titans at Lions. Actually, if anything, the middle of the field could also help Josh Downs, but the receivers are going to take a wait and see approach with Anthony Richardson for now. Titans at Lions. Will Levis officially ruled out today. We're going to have more Mason Rudolph. No DeAndre Hopkins, of course, after the trade. Treylon Burks also out, and Tajay Spears. The Lions defense should be one of the better streamers this week. as well. Ernest Jones, my apologies, was traded earlier this week. That's key. One of the better middle linebackers for the Titans, because now they're also going to be down L'Jarius Sneed. So they're missing some really key guys, that Titans D. Lions at home. Fire up David Montgomery with confidence. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, I might bet his player prop at home against the Titans. All right. You also got some key injuries up front. Now, this is notable for Tony Pollard. The Lions are really, really tough against the run, but here's some feather in the cap for him with Tajay Spears also out. They're going to be down all those guys. Aiden Hutchinson, of course, on IR. Josh Pascal, the other defensive end, also out. Marcus Davenport's been on IR. And also one of their key linebackers, Derek Barnes, has been on IR. So there's a lot of injuries to that Lions front. Tony Pollard, because he gets that full workload, could still be an RB2 even on the road. Falcons at Buccaneers. Justin Simmons, safety, out. Troy Anderson out. Lorenzo Carter out. That's linebackers and safeties for the Falcons. Listen, I know we talked a little bit about the Cade Otton situation and potentially not having as big of a game, but I really like Cade Otton. With no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, and those injuries to the Falcons defense, I think Cade Otton's a rock-solid start this week. Bucs offensive line officially healthy. That's notable, especially they're going to need it, especially with no receivers in the receiving core. On the flip side, though, for the Bucs, Jamel Dean and Tyreek Smith, two of the starting cornerbacks for the Buccaneers, is going to be out today. You know, I really like Darnell Mooney. Mooney plays more of a hybrid inside-out role. He plays about 40% in the slot. No slot cornerback, no outside cornerback. I do like Darnell Mooney a lot this week. Of course, Drake London as well. Let's jump down to the later window games. Just give me 1 second as I pop that up. And here we go. Derek Carr, of course, out today. Saints at Chargers, but that'll be a Spencer Rattler edition. I do think the Chargers defense, by the way, is a decent play this week. Some good news for Alvin Kamara. The offensive line is starting to get healthy. Their guard, Cesar Ruiz, and Lucas Patrick should be back this week. So that's good news for the Saints offensive line. On the other side, also Taysom Hill also coming back should help. Chris Olave as well. So the offense overall, outside of Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed, are back on the field, which should be helpful for Spencer Rattler. On the other side of the football for the Saints, key injury is Paulson Adebo is out. That's one of their opposite corners, opposite Marshawn Lattimore. I honestly think the Saints are a slot funnel defense. I really like Ladd McConkey a lot, but Marshawn Lattimore has not shadowed this season. So honestly, Josh Palmer could be an interesting dart throw this week, especially with the Saints hemorrhaging some points. They're also going to be down Will Harris in the secondary as well. Quentin Johnson out today. We will be on the lookout for Hurst and Will Disley, both questionable heading into this game. We'll see what the final result is, but if Hurst gets ruled out, I like Disley as a streamer. Ladd McConkey officially in. No C. Well, don't worry about it. M. Conkey. It's supposed to be MC Conkey. My apologies, folks. Gus Edwards, of course, on IR. Expect a heavy dose of J.K. Dobbins. The Saints' run defense is not the same. Dobbins is a rock-solid RB2. Asante Samuel, outside cornerback, on IR currently. But good news is Joey Bosa should be back for the Chargers this week. Bills at Seahawks. The key injury for the Bills is Terrell Bernard is out, but overall the Bills are starting to get healthy. Where they're really the weakest right now is their linebacker position because what's his name? Well, their best linebacker has already been out, but then Terrell Bernard is also out. So honestly, I think that Kenneth Walker at home should be the smash start this week against the Bills. But I also don't mind Noah Fant as well. Jumping over a reason why, because DK Metcalf is officially out. So we'll see what that means. JSN, by the way, slot receiver. Bills are a slot funnel defense. 2-2. Come on, JSN. Get us 11 PPR points finally this season. On the other side, there are some injuries for the secondary for the Seahawks. We'll have to see later window. Trey Brown, outside cornerback, is questionable. Raquan Woolen should be back this week. And then Roshan Jenkins, the safety, is out. So a lot of banged up Seahawks in the back end. Even if Trey Brown plays, they're pretty banged up. So good news for guys like Amari Cooper. Bears, Commanders, Jaquay Brisker, safety, and Kyler Gordon, slot cornerback, are out for the Bears today. That should help that interior matchup. We did talk about this on the Friday show. Not really sure that helps McLaurin. He plays mostly on the outside. Might be good news for a guy like Zach Ertz, who plays a lot in the middle. Brian Robinson officially in. That's good news. Nothing really to report there. And Washington Commanders are still going to be down some key guys up front. 2 of their 5 top defensive linemen are out. So that's a good news for DeAndre Swift coming out of the bye. Panthers at Broncos. Andy Dalton officially out. Deontay Johnson joins Adam Thielen out today as well for the Panthers. Panthers are very banged up. Also traded a bunch of players as well. So that's notable. But honestly, Bryce Young, not overly excited, but honestly, Chuba Hubbard to me is probably the one guy that I feel confident in this matchup. PJ Locke, don't worry about it. He's a safety for the Broncos, but he's out today. Chiefs, Raiders. Juju's the most notable for the offense for the Chiefs. He's out today. Jalen Watson, outside cornerback for the Chiefs, is going to be out. That might help Jacoby Myers, but the Chiefs overall are one of the toughest outside matchups as Myers returns to action. And notably, Christian Wilkins is on IR. He's the best defensive tackle for the Raiders. Cowboys at 49ers. Jawan Jennings out, Debo in. Dallas is going to be down 3 defensive linemen again. Honestly, this sounds like to me a Jordan Mason week, so get him into your lineups if you can. And then finally, Giants at Steelers. Giants are going to be down some guys on the outside. Flott and Jackson are both out today. George Pickens, folks, get him in your lineups. Should be a good one against those Giants, those pesky Giants who are going to be down. Andrew Thomas as well. On the other side, some key injuries on the defense for the Steelers, but nothing notable as their main defensive ends are back. Cordell Patterson being out just means Warren and Najee should get most and all the work. All right, that's all we got for the injuries for this week, folks. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring in the guys back in. Matt, back to you, my friend. Matt, you are on mute. All right, let's just go for Nick Robinson until Matt and Derek get themselves unmuted here. I'm going to go quickly here. We got Nick Robinson, Purdy or Daniels. We both answered this earlier. We all went Daniels in that with him playing this week. Joe Chris, a.k.a. Joe D1414. Hey, Matt. Looks like it's a buddy of yours. Bateman, Worthy, or Troy Franklin. Matt, throwing it up to you. And then, Matt, you're taking over hosting after that.
Oh, yeah. It's Joe Ed. He has been a commenter on my article for years. So, and by the way, I've been trying to figure out a way to tell the folks that on Sundays, I will answer as much as I can via writing on early in the morning. Then I come over here. So my responses are slower online. Bateman, Worthy, or Troy Franklin in a standard league. I think for me, well, I'll go to Derek first, and then I'll think about it.
No, go ahead. This is your guy. You take first step.
I kind of like Bateman. He's had 3 of the last 4 weeks have been pretty decent, and I think them being down. What did you say, Bob? 2 of their starting cornerbacks are down, right?
No, that's the Ravens.
For the Ravens.
Yeah. On the other side.
Yeah, Jameis will have some opportunity. So I think this is probably going to be a better football game than what it looks like on paper with the way the Browns have played. I think Jameis makes them better. So give me Bateman. I think that it could be another 3+ touchdown game for our guy Lamar Jackson. So I kind of like Bateman. Worthy simply is not getting enough touches. I think they're going to be running the ball all day against Las Vegas, and then there maybe be a little bit of Travis Kelce getting him back into the action. Franklin is not there yet, but I think he's going to be the guy for Knicks soon enough. So of that, let me go with Bateman this week.
Yeah, being a standard league really makes this one challenging because none of the 3 really get enough targets and enough work to really boost their value in a standard league, like I say. But of the 3, it's got to be Bateman. I mean, he's other than one game, he's averaging 4 targets per game. And I think more importantly, though, again, standard league, he's gotten in the end zone 3 times already every other week. So in all 3 cases, ironically, we're on the road. So if we went to our home road splits fill in for someone like Bateman, he might have a better road rating than a home rating, and they are in Cleveland. So again, standard league, have to factor it a little bit differently. So I'm looking at more touchdowns and a little more ADOT, and so give me Bateman here.
This is a tough one that I thought because, like, Worthy to me, I have no idea what to expect from him on a day-to-day basis. Like, I couldn't tell you. He might get an end around and run in for a touchdown, but like he hasn't demanded targets even with all the injuries. So, but Troy Franklin last week Sutton put up a 0, right? And he had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 50 yards last week. And the matchup is sweet. I mean, it's a good matchup against Carolina. Man, I don't know. I think Bateman's probably the guy. He's hot, 3 straight good weeks. So I stick with Bateman, but like tougher than I thought. I'm going to go Bateman slightly ahead of Franklin.
And Joe, I think I'll speak for the others, but if you have a running back, and I don't remember your rosters from going back and forth this week, but if you have a running back that could slot in as a flex, right? Maybe this isn't a wide receiver only question. If you have a running back that could slide in for flex, send those names to us here, and I might lean towards a running back with it being a standard league. All right, Shinobi. There's something there. I haven't figured it out yet. This is a terrible thing to read, but most of my guys are dead. Short, unreliable wide receiver. D. Hopkins or Shakir. For me, this is absolutely smash Shakir. Not even close for me.
All right, well, let me just douse your enthusiasm a little bit. Shakir being primary a slot receiver and Seattle being actually pretty good against slot receivers. So, and of course, there are some weather concerns there as well. So, it's not a slam dunk for me. Neither one of these guys are reliable, but I will lean Shakir because, frankly, Hopkins has been there for 6 days. I expect that he'll get some targets, just to kind of welcome him to the team, kind of thing. But what's his role going to be in the long run? And he has been injured too. Let's not forget about that. Although it might be one of those injuries that miraculously healed up on the flight from Tennessee to Missouri. But
are you talking to Devontae Adams right now?
Well, he's not the only one. So wide receivers tend to be a little. How it is.
Diva-ish.
Exactly. So, but I'm going to lean Shakir a little bit, but it's not. I'm not loving that pick at all for a number of reasons. But if I'm going to go with one or the other, it's going to be Shakir here.
Yeah, I think it overshadowed last week with the Amari Cooper game was that Shakir had 7 catches for 65 yards. I mean, he was still fine. And we're assuming half PPR here. Just give me that, nice floor, this week. I don't know. Because, is DeAndre Hopkins going to be Amari Cooper? Listen, Amari Cooper played very limited snaps, but he had 5 targets, 66 receptions, and a touchdown. That's awesome. I don't know if I can bank on DeAndre Hopkins doing the same exact thing. So I'm okay taking a break. I honestly don't care if I'm wrong about DeAndre Hopkins this week. He just got there. So I'm not going to start him right now. I'm going to go Shakir.
Yeah, he's also 34 and has been off and off dinged all year, right? So, I don't know. And maybe Mahomes makes him a superstar, but for fantasy, Mahomes is not making anybody a superstar right now. I know the NFL will try to cancel me for saying anything disparaging about Mahomes, but there it is. Chicken goats. I'm not even going to try to dig into the name. I love the name. I'm just not going to go any further with that. I have Daniels. I believe that's plural, so that's Daniel Jones and somebody else. It's not.
Speaking of goats,
it's Jaden Daniels, clearly. Saquon, Brees, Kamara, Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, and Evan Ingram. Only really have Addison on my bench for a wide receiver. Should I trade a running back for more wide receiver depth? PPR, 12-man. The record is 4-3. So that would mean, are you going to trade Saquon, Brees, Kamara, or Pacheco for wide receiver depth? If it's me, I'm not moving any one of those top 3 running backs. Feel free to deal Pacheco if you see the need. I don't know what the value is. It's probably not significant right now. but it could be significant enough for somebody that really needs a running back coming back in or around the playoffs. So I can support dealing Pacheco for a wide receiver 2/3. But for me, with the way running backs are running the league right now, the healthy ones, the Kyron Williams, who, by the way, I was wrong on, Bob, and I apologize. Saquon Barkley, Brees, and Kamara are worth their weight in gold. So I am not trading any of those unless I'm absolutely blown away by the receiver, and I can't come up with a receiver off my head that would blow me away in that deal.
Sorry to step in here, Derek, but my question though is, how many can you start? Is it a 2 running back and a flex? And so once you get to the playoff time frame, like you're always benching Pacheco or Kamara, one of these guys every week. So yeah, I guess if it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, a flex league, or if it's 2 running back, 3 receiver, what I'm gathering here, it seems like to me that you're starting 2 receivers, starting 2 running backs. You have Justin Jefferson, Addison's to back him up. You have Tyreek. Yeah, it's a lot easier to find like a wide receiver to plug in here and there than it is a running back, unless there's an injury. So yeah,
if it's a 2 and 2 with a flex, then you put Kamara in the flex. You've got your 2 receivers, your 2 running backs, your tight end. For me, again, I go back to Pacheco as the expendable name, or maybe Pacheco and Addison for a 2 running backs, but 2 wide receivers. But I don't think you're going to get that deal.
No, I'm staying put as well. I'm probably thinking his 4-3 record is primarily because Tyreek Hill has been without Tua, and now that that's rectified, I could see a run of victories here. Although I will say, to Bob's point, especially when you get to the playoff time, and you're picking between, which I've got, 4 stud running backs, which 2 am I playing? That's a tough decision because, you don't get a mulligan after that, if you lose, you're out. So, but that said, I would probably wait a little bit closer to the trade deadline for your league and the upcoming bye weeks, because I think that's where you're going to find more value than right now. If you get, you get up to, week 10, week 12, when we really start to see 4 and 6 teams on bye, it's going to put a strain on teams, especially those that are looking for, those few last couple wins to get into the playoffs. I suspect your team will be just fine by then. And so if you're going to look to move someone, do it then when their value is going to be higher than it is right now. So for now, I'm staying put, but keep manning the trade lines, and you might find a deal that makes your team better and kind of alleviates, frankly, some of those playoff decisions that you're going to end up struggling with, to Bob's point.
And Bob, what are you on the injury front? What are you reading on return for Pacheco? I think you mentioned it earlier in case Chicken Goats was not tuned in.
It was 6 to 8 weeks from his injury. We're 4 weeks in. So he should be back probably week 10, 11 range.
Which would tell you that week 12 to 13 is when he's ramped back up somewhat.
But the other thing is, you're probably not of this group. Once Derek Carr comes back, Kamara should get back to his old self. Brees and Saquon these are 3 elite guys. So I don't even know if Pacheco is going to be in your lineup much. He's really just a safety valve for you. So, but that being said, like right now I'm 4-3. I honestly wouldn't make a move yet because you're 4-3. If I was like 2-5 or something crazy, then I would flip Pacheco because I need to make a move. But I think you're okay for now.
All right.
By the way, the Vikings already had their bye, so you're good there. Miami already had their bye, so you're good there.
Eagles have had their bye.
Eagles did as well.
So really, so your 2 receivers are already locked in. You don't have to worry about buys, and you're not going to sit Tyreek with Tua back and Justin Jefferson ever. So maybe you don't even have to worry about it. Ride it out for another week or 2.
Yeah, when the Jets go on their bye, you put Addison in at the flex, and you're good to go. All right, Hiram Gatto, his question got truncated, so let me jump Jets down real quick. Pick one flex, PPR, Mostert, Dowdle, Shakir, Tucker Kraft, or Wandale. Derek, what do we think?
Yeah, so it's either going to be Wandale or Mostert for me. PPR, certainly, again, I like leaning wide receivers. But that's not a great matchup for Wandale, in my opinion, against the Steelers tomorrow. And, again, with all the pieces back in place in Miami, and Mostert, even with Achane, Mostert has success, in that offense when everything's clicking, and I expect to be everything to click today. So I'm actually running with Mostert in one of my leagues as the flex option for that very reason. So, true to what I'm doing myself, I'm going to take Mostert here.
It's funny. I got Mostert in one league, and I don't know what to. I have him in 2 leagues, but one league where I'm trying to figure out if I should flex him ahead of Darnell Mooney, Cooper, and Dobbs. I like Mostert. I think that, but the issue is it is a chain offense now. Chain's getting the work mostly, but like last week he had 11 carries for 50 yards. He looked good. He lost a fumble, but he looks good still. When you watch Mostert, he looks so good. But it's a Chain's the number one now, so it's like how much work is he going to get in this game against the Cardinals? I love the injuries to the upfront, but I would love to hear from you guys because I lean Mostert. I think Kraft to me is probably the pick because I love Kraft. And he's playing the Jags, and everybody scores. And by the way, everybody scores on the passing game against the Jags. That seems to be like a safe play. But Mostert to me is someone I'm really interested in. But what's your guys' thoughts about? I know Derek's in, but Dobbs. These guys, of course, you're picking most. But I got Dobbs, Mooney, and Cooper. Would you start him over any of those guys?
I may start him over Cooper. Again, because I'm just not really sure exactly what he is in that offense yet. And traveling cross country in Seattle with a little bit of weather and an uncertain role, I think I'm a little more comfortable with Mostert. So I might consider that. Not the other two, but I may consider sitting him for Cooper. That would be my only thought.
Matt, answer Hiram's question first, then you can answer mine if you want. Sorry, just skipped everybody.
I'm probably going Shakir, and I'm gonna pivot away from Mostert based on the fact that Achane's getting more looks now. I think Mostert will ramp up more, but give me if they can get back to last year's Dolphins offense, which they won't get all the way back there. Mostert becomes much more valuable. Give me Shakir, Mostert as 2, Kraft as 2B. Wandale, his matchup is atrocious Monday night at Pittsburgh, and Dowdle, I think, as I mentioned earlier, is trending towards not being worth a whole bunch with the start of Dalvin Cook season. Bob, remind me what you asked. I know that Cooper was in there.
Cooper, Dobbs, Mooney, Mostert.
1 week start?
Just
today? Yeah, Mooney.
No, I'm saying who to sit out of that group.
Oh, so Mooney, Dobbs, and Cooper, and the last one was Mostert?
Yeah.
I sit Mostert.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, look at the time. We've got about 23
Let's get
minutes.
rolling.
So we are going to stop with the banter. I know that just breaks Bob's heart, but we are going to try to rip through these questions. So I will read them, Derek, Bob, and I will finish. Joe Carvalho, Keon Coleman, or Aishavas today?
Iosivas with Higgins out. Yes, over Coleman.
Yoshibash.
Yoshavas for me too. In fact, Derek, read this question while I make a move in my G League.
Happy game day, guys. Pollard or Dobbs in full PPR? For me, this one's easy. It's going to be Dobbs.
Dobbs.
Dobbs for me as well. I'm almost done. Derek, read me one more, and then I'll be back at it.
All right. Lindorphins coming in. Happy Sunday, Lindorphins, to you as well. Najee versus the Giants or Mason versus the Cowboys, half PPR. To me, it's got to be Mason. He's going to be the focal point of that offense this week with all the injuries against a pretty weak Dallas defense. Give me Mason.
Mason for me as well.
Mason for me as well. Cosmo is back. Half-point PPR, Kareem Hunt or James Cook. Boy, I know how much Derek loves him some James Cook.
I do. I love me some James Cook, and this week especially in this game, give me James Cook pretty easily over Kareem Hunt.
James Cook for me as well.
James Cook because he's healthy. So that's 3 of us for James Cook. Luke is checking in. I wonder if that's Lucas Patrick, the offensive lineman. Do you think Rachaad White could be a sneaky boom with his role in receiving now that Godwin? Absolutely. I said at the beginning, This week is Rachaad White. Derek, I do not need to be last on this one. Give me Rachaad White.
Yes. Capital YES. Yes.
There's no start sit. It's just asking if he's a sneaky play now. Yes. Right. How is Atlanta, Derek, against the running back for targets?
You'll have to give me a minute to look that up.
All right, we can move on.
All right, Lucas, keep listening. Derek's going to do a little digging. The Smitty, start 1, Chargers or Niners defense? Bob.
Chargers.
Chargers for me as well. Otten or Bowers? We don't even need to have this discussion.
Okay. It's Bowers,
Bowers
right?
Is the best tight end.
I was just going to clarify. It's Bowers, right? Because I like Otten too, but it's Bowers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Bowers. Derek, you got the info? We're still looking.
No, I've got it. So what? Tell me what you're looking for again.
Falcons running back
against receiving running backs.
Yeah. Let's see. Falcons target wise, they're actually one of the better teams. Let's see. Well, about mid-pack.
Middle back. Yeah.
Yeah, now, I like it. Teams have been throwing against them all constantly. AJ Terrell is in and playing. I just think the game script for this one is going to be Rachaad White. KJ Frederick, better full PPR flex start Monte or Javonte Wood? Oh boy, don't we love Bob loves Javonte Williams, but we'll get to Bob in a minute. Derek, do you like Monte or Javonte?
Well, I like them both. I like Monte very much, but Bobby and I talked about that this weekend, and Javonte Williams versus that depleted Carolina defense. He's better at home. He's getting more of a bulk workload now. Javonte Williams for me.
David Montgomery is like at home. Jesus. I guess Javonte. He's the number 1 in our adjusted line yards matchup metric, and he's at home. So,
all right. So I
would love to hear who's the other guys you're starting, KJ. I would love to hear your other running backs. They must be insane.
Well, that's his flex start.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Yeah. Let us know, KJ. Type in at the bottom, KJ, what your starting lineup looks like. Leave the flex blank, and we'll give you more info. Because our adjusted line metric says Javonte, I'm going to go that way. But for me, it feels like it's always going to be Monte in this.
Right? I mean, David Montgomery's insane at home. He's insane.
So good.
Last week was the first week he didn't score a touchdown this year.
Disappointing.
Hayden Rittenhouse, pick 2. We're going to assume half-point PPR. Dubs, Eckler, Maserati Marv, Taysom Hill. He may be quarterback.
Yeah, I don't expect him to play much quarterback, if any, other than maybe like an option run or something by the goal line. But he is back, and he is, probably as healthy as he's been for a while. But and it is a PPR. He shows us later. This is a PPR. So give me Dobbs and Harrison Jr.
Dobbs and Eckler for me.
I do not see anything that leads me to believe that Taysom Hill will be playing extra snaps at quarterback. So Dobbs, and the answer should be Harrison, but I said it last week. Remind me, Bob, who's the offensive coordinator? It's not Bobby Slowick. It's the other guy for Arizona.
Drew Petzing?
Petzing has not drawn up an offense that benefits Marvin Harrison Jr. So until I see it happen the right way, it's going to be Eckler and Dobbs for me. GR, welcome back, GR. Half PPR, 1 flex to fill. Dobbs, Mostert, Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irving, Ricky Pearson, deepest bench ever. Pearsall, Calvin Ridley, Xavier Worthy. Seems like a choice between the top 4 with Dobbs' most reliable workload. Derek, Dobbs, Mostert, McMillan, Bucky, Pearsall, Ridley, Worthy, go. One of them.
Yeah, I'll just look at the first three, and those three are in order for me. So I would go Dobbs, Mostert, McMillan. That would be my three. And you'd want one, but that's my top three order. So it's Dobbs.
Yep, Dobbs for me. I agree with Derek. I might slip Bucky ahead of McMillan ever so slightly, but I'm good with the order that Derek has, and I think we all agree on Dobbs. William Jones, who?
William Jones.
God, Bob is failing. Having an off week this week. We'll get you next week. Bad news, William. I will not be here next week. I have to take my wife on a 7-day cruise. So woe is me. By the way, for those interested, we did not repeat. NOT did not get the drink package this time.
Okay.
This is going to be a relaxation cruise. We shall see what happens during the cruise, but we did
things
not
could change.
What's the what's the over under that package is purchased in the first 15 minutes on board?
The other 3 times that I did not get the drink package, the average was 100%. It was the first.
Yeah. I think what's the spread on that?
Yeah. GR, welcome back again. Half PPR, 2 bench stash spots. Mostly want protection and projection, not bye-week floor fill-in. Eckler, Kendra Miller, cut for my camera. Oh, got it. Warren, Demario Douglas, Dalvin Cook. All right. So 2 players for bench and stash. Derek Eckler, Kendre to handcuff his Camara. Jalen Warren, he does not roster Najee. Demario Douglas, Dalvin Cook. Give me 2.
Yeah, and we've seen, just in San Francisco alone, the benefit of having the handcuff for the primary running back. So, yeah, take Kendra Miller and also take Warren as well. Miller and Warren for sure. They're the 2 primary handcuffs. And again, especially with running backs, we've seen how valuable that is to have those handcuffs.
Yeah, Miller and Warren's fine.
I'm going to go Eckler and Warren. I think Eckler actually has standalone value. Lightning bets. Hopefully this is Tampa Bay Lightning, who, by the way, a 3-0 shutout against the Washington Capitals last night. That's hockey, Bob. Start Bucky Irving or Jalen Warren at running back this week. This should be an easy one for you, Derek. Go. It's not really that easy.
Yeah, start. It's not as easy as you think.
No, I was poking fun.
So much uncertainty in Tampa. I know Najee's good to go. He was on the injury list earlier this week. He is good to go. But give me Jalen Warren. He's actually picked it up lately. Against the Giants on Monday night. Yeah, I want Warren.
I guess I'll go Irving.
I think Irving is going to be the player that runs the most. Rachaad White is going to be the receiving running back. I don't love it, but I'm going to go Bucky because I think he's guaranteed more touches. Here's the thing. Monday night, Pittsburgh should be leading that game, but I don't know that they're going to put up 37 points again. Giants defense has been better than initially advertised. I think I'm going to actually lean Warren as well on Monday night, but Bucky again could fall into the end zone. And will get carries. Epic fail, chiming in again. Need 2 drops from my bench. McMillan, Ray Davis, Charbonnet, Braylon Allen. Is that another Allen or is that Braylon Allen? I don't know. Jalen Warren, Tyler Algier. Drop 2, Derek.
Oh, wow. This is just a crapshoot. I mean, which primary running back in these cases are going to be healthier moving forward? I mean, there's no way to say. Wow. Probably.
I'm curious to know, is he handcuffing with any of those players?
Yeah, we need to know if you're handcuffing.
Yeah, and that's really important to know as well. This is really, I mean, other than gut feel, there's really hard to make this call. I'm keeping Ray Davis. I mean, he's shown that he can. He has even a little bit of work, even though James Cook is the primary. Charbonnet's been good if if Walker's out, Braylon's been okay. This is almost an impossible question to
Yeah.
ask.
All right, Epic Phil, give us names if you're handcuffing anybody. We'll circle back to this one. Hate to say circle back because that's a business term that nobody likes in a staff meeting, but we will circle back with you. Daniel Ivan, should I go Pittman Jr., Keenan Allen, or Jalen Warren at flex this week? Oh, does Derek love Michael Pittman Jr.?
Well, I do, but not necessarily. I like him with Joe Flacco even better. So, however, let's see. We don't
Who's
know.
starting at quarterback for Indy, and please use the right nickname.
What? Say that again.
Who's the starting quarterback right now for Indy? Please use the correct nickname.
AR.
You can phone a friend right below you. He'll help.
AR.
Bobby, proper nickname from this show that I created for the starting quarterback in Indy.
Timu Justin Fields.
Nailed it. There it is.
No,
now we're having fun. We got 10
still
minutes
got
and
it.
we're having fun. Finally. Let's go. Let's have some fun, shit break.
Woo!
All right. So let's. I'm probably gonna say Pittman because he's the best of the three, but I could be convinced to go with any one of these three, to be honest with you.
And I believe the Bears have kind of they're coming off the bye, but don't they have kind of a is Washington good against the slot?
The
Anybody
Commanders?
know offhand?
No. Commanders are not good against the slot, no.
Yeah, and that
They're good for everybody.
That gives a little edge to Keelan Allen, but yeah.
Bob,
I'm gonna go
you going
Allen
with this
for
week?
me. What?
Who you going with? Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen.
Yeah. I think the Bears are going to have to score to win. I don't like Timu, Justin Fields at quarterback, which just kills my implied value for Pittman. So I'm going to go Keenan Allen as well. Marius is back in. Happy Halloween. Love to have that. Trick or treat to all the youngsters. We know we're big with the 13 to 17 demographic here on YouTube. Tucker Kraft or Cole Kmet, Derek?
Yeah, Kraft for me.
Kraft macaroni and cheese, baby.
Nailed it. Kraft macaroni and cheese for me.
The fact that he plays for Green Bay is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't make some of this stuff.
Yeah, and if that business is not taking advantage of that up in that market, they're failing.
What are we doing?
Yeah, just the cheese curds, all of it. They're just crazy. Viewer question: Superflex PPR start May or Mooney today?
Yeah, this one's tough. I'm gonna actually defer to you guys. Because I may know who this viewer is, so I want to hear your opinion first.
Oh, Bob.
Superflex.
This is the viewer, Bob.
I'm gonna say May. Honestly, Superflex. I think May's gonna be fine. The Jets secondary's banged up, so
DJ Reed playing or is he out?
He's in, I believe. Actually, I didn't see him out. Actually, no, Reed's on IR now, I believe.
Okay, so that leaves Sauce Gardner, who doesn't travel. And if he does, he's going to travel with London.
No, I apologize. Reed is in. They're just banged up at safety right now.
Okay.
And Sauce Gardner does not travel, so.
No. So you're going to go May?
I'm going to go May. Superflex? Yeah, I'll go May. I like Mooney, but I don't know. He's also a home road split guy. Like, his road splits are bad. He looks terrible.
He's not great outside, so I'm going to go with May as well, I think. But I do like Mooney today. I'm starting him in most of my sleeper leagues. Jets fan, I have both Kupp and Puka in a 1-point PPR league. Congratulations. Running back depth is shaky. Brees, Achane, Dowdle. Do I trade Kupp for Flowers and ETN? My other wide receivers are McLaurin, Puka, Deontay Johnson. All right, so we're trying to say, do I trade Kupp because I have 2 Rams receivers for Flowers and ETN, most likely dropping Dowdle would be what I'm reading. So, Derek, would you take Flowers and ETN for Kupp? Well, Rams have had their bye, by the way. Flowers has not, nor has ETN.
Right. I would probably give it another week or 2 and see if you can get more value for this. I mean, ETN should be back next week. And does he take over the role? Is it more of a timeshare now? Flowers is probably not going to start with the wide receivers you have very often anyway, assuming everyone stays healthy. So I'm probably going to hold on this for now and see if I can get more value for Cup after another game or two.
Bob, I know you love Cooper Kupp.
Not trading Cup.
I'm not trading Cup either. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The eye test said Puka did everything in that football game and had all the targets and all the catches. But guess what? Cooper Kupp had 16 PPR points, 5 for 51 and touchdown. So I'm not getting rid of Cooper. And by the way, first came back. I am not trading Cooper Kupp. And because they've had their bye, you can start both of them every week. Let's plant some trees. Need 1 running back, 2 flex. So 3 players, 1 has to be a running back. Olave, DeAndre, Keenan, McConkey, Bucky, Ramondre. Derek, go.
All right. Well, I think I don't really trust either one of these running backs, but I think I'm gonna lean Bucky on this one, just because what we've seen from Ramondre has just not been good. And then as far as 2 flexes, both will be receivers. I'm going to go Olave and Keenan.
Bob?
Keenan, McConkey, Ramondre.
Keenan, McConkey, Bucky for me. So good luck with that, Lex. Brock Funky. I'm going to go Funky. I have Saquon, Jacobs, and Mason. Now you're just bragging, really, Brock, but that's cool. For running back, should I play all 3 or start Devonta Smith instead of one of them in a PPR league? Well, that's an interesting twist. Philly at home against the Bengals. I believe that could be the over-under on that's got to be mid-50s in that game, so that should be a high-scoring game. Derek, what do you think? Start the running backs or squeeze Devonta Smith in there?
Yeah, I'm starting the running backs. A.J. Brown is the primary target there for Philly. The running backs are safer. All 3 of them could have monster games. I'm starting all 3 running backs.
Bob?
Starting all 3 running backs.
And that make it 3 for 3. I'm starting all 3 running backs. Not to say Devonta Smith's not a great player. I'm starting all 3. This is back to Joe Ed, right? Let's find Joe's question. Derek, do you remember what the original question was? Running backs are Kyron and Monty and Mixon. It's why wide receiver 2 is such a crapshoot. I do remember that from his.
Yeah, he was asking. No.
It was Monte versus.
We got 7 minutes. Sorry, Joe. We got to move on, baby. We got to move on. We got to go.
Derek, scroll back and find that.
I'm looking for it. Go ahead.
Okay. Keith Bronikowski, Tua or Mahomes? Not even close. Tua. Bob.
Tua's good.
All right. Lightning bets. Need to drop a player. Do I drop Demario Douglas, McMillan, Braylon Alvin, or Calvin Ridley? Oof. If you roster Breece Hall, you're going to keep Allen. I'm probably dropping Demario Douglas, but McMillan is a close second to that drop. Bob?
Drop Douglas.
Yeah, that's where I would lean as well.
Start picking for DJ Moore. Woo-wee. DJ Moore for me. But Pickens is starting to move up the player ladder.
Yeah, I like both of these guys. Frankly, I don't think you can go wrong either way. But probably the better play is going to be DJ Moore.
Pickens for me.
Wrong. Lindorphins. Good luck, fellas. Thanks this weekend. Sorry your Mets fell a little bit short, Bob. The Mets play baseball. We'll see you in a couple weeks when I'm back, Lindorphins. One more question. No big deal if you don't want to answer. Full PPR need to start 2. Pittman, Sutton, Ramondre, Tyler Lockett, Travis Kelce. For me, I'm starting Tyler Lockett and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I can get behind that as well. Lockett and Kelce with DK Metcalf out. So, yeah, I'll take that one as well.
Stevenson and Kelce for me.
All right, see if I can get a trifecta agreement. Oh, trifecta, that works. So you'd all say if I go pick up Tillman, he'd be over your McMillan, McConkey picks PPR.
He would for me, yes.
I think he is for me. McConkey's close.
I'm going to go McConkey.
Sorry, Bill. No consensus. Full PPR rest of the season, Hopkins or Olave?
Olave.
Olave.
All right, we're almost done, boys. 16-man half PPR. I believe that's Jared Goff or Kyler Murray and Olave or Tillman from Cleveland. Thank you for clarifying. Right now, Jared Goff is almost a perfect quarterback. Most of his games are at home or inside. As much as I love Kyler Murray, I'm playing Jared Goff until he tells me otherwise, and I am playing Olave over Tillman.
Yeah, Goff's the quarterback to start here, certainly at home versus Tennessee. Olave's, I don't know if he's an automatic start for me this week against the Chargers. I might actually go Tillman this week, but long-term Olave. But I
read that the way you're saying it, Derek. I read it long-term. I'm going Goff and Tillman this week. I wait for Carr to come back for Olave.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Goff and Tillman.
All right, so that's three of us. And by the way, I love the handle Foxborough News. Olave, Tillman, or Harrison Jr. In this, I think I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't love that. But I think they're gonna have to score to win. I don't love Harrison Jr. until the Petsing gets it right, but I'm gonna play him this week.
Yeah, I'm going Harrison Jr. as well.
Bob,
I'm gonna go Tillman.
Cool. All right, kicker, McLaughlin or Tucker. Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the history of the NFL. Give me Justin Tucker.
Tucker. Yeah, I'm actually good with both. I think they are 6 and 7 in my metric. So,
all right, I defer to the kicker guru.
There you go. J. Keats, Kraft or Andrews, Brian Thomas or Pickens, Love or Daniels. So it's a tight end, a wide receiver, and a quarterback. Go right ahead, Derek. And we've got this one and one more.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Andrews, Pickens, and Daniels. But I'll be honest with you, I think any combination is going to work just fine.
Bob.
Kraft and Kraft or Andrews, Brian Thomas or Pickens.
3 questions.
Okay. Yeah, there's 3 questions there.
Shit, I don't have my tight end stuff.
For me, it's going to be Andrews, Brian Thomas, and Love.
I am going to go Kraft, Pickens, Love.
We were absolutely no help to to that guy. Jets fan, pick 2, Bo Nix, Goff, and May. I'm going to go Goff and Bo Nix.
Goff and Nix, yep.
Goff and Nix as well.
All right, trifecta. Last one, Ross, welcome in. Full PPR, pick 1, flex, Taysom, Tillman, Wicks, Pearsall. Tillman for me.
Yeah, same from me, Tilson.
Bob, let's wrap it up and then hit the music.
Tillman.
Boom.
Yeah, before you do, let's go back to Joe. This was his question before. This was what we were talking about when we asked about running backs.
Bateman, Worthy, or Troy Franklin standard. He said running backs are Kyra Monty. Okay, so it's really the running back is who we're coming, or the flex that we need. Excuse me, wide receiver that we need.
Yeah.
All right, tell him who we're starting, Derek. Yeah, Bateman for me.
Yeah, I'm still staying with Bateman.
Yep. Bob, hit the music.
Bateman's fine. That's great.
Run us out of here.
All right, thanks, folks. That was. Why do I have to be the one that runs this out? I mean, come on, just host. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. All right,
get off your phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to set my own lineups and do my own things. All right.
Should have done it last night, like Derek and I. We're professionals.
No, absolutely not. I gotta please the wife on Saturdays, folks. Gotta make sure she's happy. Take her to parties. What do you guys think this is, huh? That's all we got. Enjoy the games today, folks. Make sure you join us next week for the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel, the Start Sit Show. Thank you, Derek and Matt. Thank you, Matt. Great job hosting. Derek, the best answers in the biz. I'm your host, Bobby Lamarco / whatever I am, always on the back end. Thank you, folks, for joining us. We are at